Hey YouTube, this is ReaperRock1967, bringing you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile. It's been a long time since I've done another one, and I'm very tired today, and this is going to be probably the worst quality I've recorded under, just purely because I can't find any good light source right now. Um, Rate, comment, post, subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video. This is an update from a deck profile I did a while back on my Darkworlds. I've actually revamped it to where it's actually good now. Got my tour guides and stuff since they hit reprint and all that good stuff. But anyway, let me know what you think. I worked really hard on this deck. Um, if you're gonna, like, give me any critiquing on the deck or analyze it and give me any comments on it, please keep them appropriate and don't be a dick. I hate it when people do that. Like I said, I worked hard on the deck on finishing it and stuff, and I had to wait for reprints for other cards, so it took me a while. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the monsters. I'm gonna go through the deck quickly. After that, I will do a more thorough analysis on the deck after I finish the actual deck, extra, and side. Alright, here we go! We start with 3 Grapha. As I said again, guys, the quality's pretty crap. But we start with 3 Grapha. Main monster of the deck. He's 27 beater that pops cards. We have 3 Snow. Snow is the searcher for everything Darkworld related in this deck, and she becomes 2,000 when the field spell is out. We have 3 Trance Archfiend. I like 3 Trance Archfiend because it allows you a lot of consistency in the deck, in getting your discards off and stuff, and 3 allows you to draw it consistently as well. Then we have 3 Brow. It is the draw engine of the deck, and it also can be normal summoned and bounced effectively to get your Grapha back from the graveyard. Right now I like triple Silva. I'm probably going to drop one of them for a Beige, just because Beige can be normal summoned and splashed, quite frequently. But this is a 26 beater. Sometimes you'll get lucky and your opponent will somehow make you discard, and you'll get to return 2 cards from their hand back to their deck. Then 2 Tour Guide. Tour Guide allows you to search your Brow and place it on the field so you can get your Grapha back for free. It's pretty simple like that. And a Sangan. Sangan searches like 8 or 9 monsters in your deck, so it's very good. Then we move on to the spells. 3 Gates of the Darkworld. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's another draw power for the deck. It also allows you to have a use for Trance Archfiend when it dies to get removed from play stuff back. And it's any dark monster, so you can get your Grapha back if they bottomless it. Drag Down to the Grave. In my opinion, it's the best spell in the deck. It minuses your opponent's good cards in your hand, and then allows you to plus by getting a monster on the field in the graveyard, and also getting to draw more cards. 3 Darkworld Dealings. Again, pretty self-explanatory, forcing them sometimes to discard cards they don't want to, and then plussing yourself again by getting monsters on the field or in your graveyard. We have pretty much the staple spells in this deck. Monster Reborn, Card Destruction, which is probably the second best spell in this deck. Discard your whole hand, and if it's full of Darkworld monsters, you plus like crazy. Allure of Darkness is just for consistency. Remove that extra Trance or that Sangan that you don't need, and get 2 cards. And then Foolish to get your Grapha into the graveyard. Then 3 more staples. Dark Hole. And I like double MST because I don't like, oversighting. There's a lot of players that talk about oversighting where you side deck too much and then the actual deck itself is inconsistent. So I like having Mystical Space Typhoon in my main deck for against, really annoying stuff. Some players' main deck, their Shadow Imprisonings, I've seen it happen. I've seen them main deck, oh gosh, Skill Drains, and that just messes me up, so I don't like it. On to the traps. A Deck Devi and an Eradicator Virus. It's very self-explanatory. They lose all their little weenie monsters with Deck Devi. Dino Rabbits get really hit bad. Samurais. Pretty much any of the top tier meta decks get affected by this card. Um, and then, of course, any Tour Guide or Zombie Engine. And then Eradicator Virus is good against any deck that runs heavy spells and traps, which is most of the meta decks right now. There's so much back row in this format, it's ridiculous. And then a Skill Drain. I like Skill Drain because it doesn't affect my deck as much because I activate cards in the graveyard. All my effects activate in the grave except for maybe Trance and Tour Guide. So I activate that mid-game when they're starting to try to explode on me, and then I prevent them from doing that. And then 3, Reckless Greed. Again, Reckless Greed is just for consistency, and you can draw around it, so it doesn't really hurt you that bad. Onto the extra deck. The extra deck is very simple and basic. I like it the way it is. I think it's good the way it is, honestly. Okay, so I have 1 Leviathan, 1 Leviair for consistency on getting your remove from play stuff back. It's also an 1800, so it's not a bad attacker for a rank 3. We have Zenmaines, which is just for stalling, just in case I get a bad hand or something. Gemnite Pearl and Utopia. Gemnite Pearl is a beat stick, and Utopia again is for stall. The rank 5s, which are a little bit more important. Adris and Tyrus. Tyrus is the one that can't be destroyed for 2 turns, and then Adris is the one that's another card popper. And then my personal tech, I don't know if Darkworld players play this. I haven't seen too many of them extra decking it, but the Hieratic Sun Dragon, Overlord of Heliopolis. You guys can let me know if this has already been a card that Darkworld players use a lot. I don't know, but to me it's a tech because I think it's absolutely amazing. You get like 2 or 3 beat sticks off of this card. It allows you to combo your Graphas into the graveyard and back onto the field, and at the same time you're destroying your opponent's field. So it's an amazing card, and it comes out so easy with your Grapha splashing out like mad crazy. And then the side deck, which consists of counter side and siding against mirror match. I have 3 Gemini Imps, which prevents the mirror match. They activate their Darkworld dealings. You pitch your Gemini Imp, you negate their spell card, and you get to draw a card. So you plus off of it while they lose the consistency in their deck. 2 DD Crows. This is also against mirror match and any deck that revolves around graveyard. A lot of the decks in the meta actually do. So this hurts like Lobbles and oh crap, Gravekeepers, Heroes, Zombies, mirror match with Darkworlds, and I mean you get rid of their Graphas and stuff. You get rid of targets for Judgment Dragon, just things like that. It's a really good card in this meta period, and I like it against mirror match. Twister is just my tech against counterside, which is the Shadow Imprisonings and stuff like that. I side deck an extra Deck Devi and an extra Eradicator Virus because of the meta. There's so many spells and traps and so many weenie monsters that these cards help tremendously when I'm playing against those decks. Mind Crush is just against those players that like to be buttheads and they search their deck like mad crazy. I just minus their hand instead. They go and they summon their Gear Frame, the Gear Frame deck. They search with their Gear Frame. I pitch their Fortress to the graveyard. Even if I don't know what they have in their hand and I just want to discard my silver for free or something, or my Grapha to pop a card, so what? That card is not a negative to me whatsoever. It just helps. It either helps me get a plus into my grave, or onto the field, or I get to discard a really good game-changing card. 2 Dark Bribe. This is just against counter-siding. And Gravekeepers, because they play a field spell too, so I don't like it, and I get rid of their Necro Valley. And then again, this is against mirror match, Bottomless Trap Hole, and it also gets rid of boss monsters. So Bottomless Trap Hole's a great counter-side for all that stuff. But I was gonna go over just a little bit more of the deck specifics. I'm gonna show the cards as I explain them. I don't want to explain any of the traps really anymore because you guys know what all those things do. Card destruction I don't really need to explain. It's pretty standard. Same thing with gates. I'm gonna explain like monster specifics because I like that stuff. I like monster specifics in this deck because it's so amazing. This deck is so underrated considering you know, everybody's like, oh, well, it gets shut down easily. It really doesn't. If the player is good and they're really a Dark World player, they counterside, and when they counterside, they shut your counterside down. Therefore, they're not affected by the meta. None of the decks in this format really hurt Dark Worlds per se. So it's just getting rid of counterside. Anyway, back to Silva, the 23 beater that's special summon when he's discarded. I just like Silva because he's a beat stick over, you know, like Brow and stuff like that. Not Brow, but Beige. Beige gets special summon the same way, but he's not a 23 beater, so this helps a lot more. Back to Brow again, the little 14 guy. He can be searched by Tor guy, which makes him essential in this deck. He pluses your draws, which makes your deck more consistent. And he can be exceeded for rank 3s like Levier. So, sorry, the screen blacked for a second. But yeah, he is definitely a requirement at 3. He's just too good. Trance Archfiend, I want to explain why I run 3 Trance Archfiend, because a lot of people don't understand it. It's consistency in hitting the card. It can be a little bit cloggy, but that's why you have stuff like Allure and, you know, things like that in there to get rid of it. You also have your field spell that you can work this from because it's a fiend. So it's not too bad when it clogs. I like it at 3. It makes my deck, in my opinion, more consistent. Snow is the best card in the deck, period. Because it is a 2000 beater that can either be normal summoned or you can use her effect to search any Dark World card in your deck. And like I said, she's the main searcher of the deck. She's like, you know, the Rhodas and Heroes, and she's like Herratic Seal and Herratics, the Dino card in Evos. You have Smoke Signals in Sam's, so every deck I notice that's doing really well this format has a search card, so she's the search card, which makes the deck far more consistent. And then Grapha, which he's the king of Dark Worlds. He is the 3000 beat stick. He gets over almost anything, and he spam like malware virus. He's just that good. He's basically a zombie dragon. He does not go away. He keeps coming back. You remove him from play, I can get him back anyway. I have my 3 Trance Archfiends. So anyway, guys, just let me know what you think of this deck. Like I said, I really worked hard on it. It took me a couple months to get all the cards that I needed for it, and I still need another 2 cards for it. I'm still looking for Dark Smog, and I'm still looking for another Herratic Dragon, which won't be hard to get, but still, my locals is kind of limited on stuff right now. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Thank you for viewing, and you guys have yourself a good evening now. Peace out.